You can sit anywhere. It doesn't matter what the signs are, but there is going to be an interactive activity.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's try it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm David, and I'm going to be your worship associate this morning. My pronouns are he and him. I am very glad that you are here this morning. In today's service, we're going to be talking about the values of our UU faith. Our speaker is going to be our very own, the incomparable director of Lifespan Religious Education, Mandolin Restivo. Yeah. There's going to be two interactive activities where you can reflect. Actually, there's just going to be one interactive activity where you can reflect on the day's topic. I hope you're going to join in and take part in that. This morning we have a special chalice lighting ceremony.
We light this candle for justice, fueled by love.
We light this candle of equity, fueled by love.
We light this candle for transformation, fueled by love. Sorry.
We light this candle for justice and for pluralism, fueled by love.
We light this candle for interconnectedness, fueled by love.
We light this candle for generosity, fueled by love.
And now we'll all join together for a chalice lighting. Words, which David will light our chalice. Oops. We light this chalice to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains.
All right, I'm going to ask everybody, if you're able, to please stand. And then you're going to remain standing when we sing our first hymn. But before we sing that hymn, I want you to find somebody that you haven't spoken to yet today and make your way over to them and say hello to them. So our instruments are going to start playing right now, and you go greet somebody.
Join us in singing, if you can. The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. So every is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are standing on. We are standing. It's okay, right here.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep chatting.
All right, Let's sing together. Promise.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. And so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. The side of love, hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. Right, thank you. All right, we've got a song for you today. This is Better Together. We thought it was a nice message of coming together with your community, with your friends, with someone you love. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard, no song that I could sing, that I could try for your heart. Our dreams, they are made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least for most of the questions in my heart, like why are we here, where do we go, and how come it's so hard? It's not always easy, and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at the stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. And all of these moments just might find their way into the bedrooms tonight, but I know that they'll be gone when the morning light sings and brings new things. But tomorrow night you see that they'll be gone too. Too many things I have to do, but if all of these dreams might find their way to my day-to-day scene, I'll be under the impression we're somewhere in between, with only two, just me and you. So things we got to do and places we've got to be, we'll sit beneath the mango tree now. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. We're somewhere here together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together. I believe in memories, they look so is no combination of words I could say, but still, I'll tell you one thing, we're better together. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. I'd like to invite anyone who is beginning to come forward to our sharing circle. We're not going to make you share. We have a special gift and a special blessing. So this includes all children who are starting new homeschool years, who have started new school years. This includes anyone who's starting a new job, moving into a new house, left a relationship and is starting something new as a single person. So I invite you to come on down, and we have a blessing and a gift for you. So come on, Clay. Come on, Gabe. I know Joanna's starting something new.
Come on down.
Any teachers who are starting the RE year, you can come on down. Leslie, Ann.
I have a new job, so I'm going to be down there in
Okay.
spirit as well, but I have a little thing I got to read.
Go ahead and
Consider
sit
me
in
part
the
of
chairs
this.
or sit in the carpet, whatever you'd like. You'll see. Join us. You could sit in the throne chairs too if you'd like.
In a world that can often leave us feeling lost, unsure, and overwhelmed by the unknown, our faith offers a compass. At the beginning of any journey, the path may seem unclear, the path or direction uncertain, but our values remind us that we are never without guidance.
Our faith teaches that every beginning is sacred. Though we may feel disoriented and uncertain, we are held by a tradition that honors the act of starting and the holy work of finding our way.
You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be perfect or extraordinary. Our faith says you are enough, just as you are, and you are ready to begin.
There will be times when we work diligently, striving to bring our dreams and goals to life. But there must also be time to rest, to pause, to reflect, and remember that our worth is not measured by how much we do. In both effort and rest, you are holy.
By beginning, you are honoring a sacred calling. By resting, you allow space for renewal. Both are necessary and holy.
One of the blessings of being in this community is that you don't have to walk alone. When you feel lost, when the path is unclear, our faith and our shared values can guide you back to yourself, back to each other, back to love.
Beginnings, no matter how tentative or uncertain, are moments of transformation.
I now am going to give you each a gift of a compass. I have keychains for the adults. You keep it, it's a gift.
Can I get the golden one?
You are. The golden one is for kids. There you go. Everyone has been given a compass, the adults a keychain compass, the kids a golden compass they can hold and put in their backpack or attach to something. May the compass you hold be a reminder you are never truly lost. This faith we share will help guide you back to your purpose and to the holy work of beginning anew. May it be so. You can all go back to your seats. Thank you for coming up and being brave. And I hope the gift was a good. You're welcome. Good morning. I am so excited to be with you all today. And we are going to be going on a journey together that is in 4 parts. And I'm going to give you signposts along the way so you aren't lost, so you know where you are in the journey. And our first part of this journey is changing the world. My hope for you and for us is that you leave here today called to embrace our Unitarian Universalist values and maybe even start to see Unitarian Universalism as, dare I call it, a faith. So I want us to all take a moment and look. There are values near you. If you are facing a value, you see a value word. The folks who are right in front, you can be transformation. But everyone else should see a value nearest to you on the back of a chair. I want you to just take a moment and talk to a neighbor about why you think this value is important. So we're just going to have one moment, talk about the value that is closest to you. And you three can be a group, or someone wants to, chat with a person behind you.
Transformation.
Good. Yeah. Why don't, good, because she's new. Okay. Okay. Generosity. Just a few more moments. We're going to have more time to dive in. Okay, everyone, we're going to come back together. If you can hear my voice, take a breath. We're going to come back together. You're going to have some more time to dive into this. So I have a question for you. This image on the screen is our new UU values. They're all there: justice, interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity. If you'd like, you can remember them through the JETPIG, JETPIG. Justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. JETPIG. So my question for you today is, if you only had one value to change the world, which would you choose? If you only had one value to change the world, which would you choose? So now I want you to notice that our congregation currently is divided up into sections based on values. What we're going to do in a moment is you are going to move to the section where the value of your choice is, and you are going to get settled there for the rest of service. So we may need to do a little help to get folks settled. If we need to move some chairs around, do what you need to do to feel good. And then you're going to talk amongst your group about why you chose this value, and have one person to report back. So I've given you, I see you, but one moment. I've given you a lot of instructions, okay? Don't move yet. Let me just review. All right? Ready? I will tell you when. You're going to move to the section that you choose, the value, one value to change the world. You're going to talk in a group. We'll have 3 minutes. I'll give you time, maybe 4. And then you're going to choose one person to report back. We got it? Okay, so everyone should now move to their value section and be ready to stay there for the rest of the service. Stay there, yeah. You all can be. So your value then, your section is... we've done a great job of dividing into groups. We did have a question about what pluralism is, so I'll explain that. No, Gabe and everyone up here is in equity. Come on up with your group. Yeah. Okay. Interdependence. Y'all are good? You're okay? Did you find someone who's going to be your representative? It's going to be you. I could have guessed. Okay. Okay. And just make sure you pick someone who will represent your group. And make sure you pick someone who will represent your group. So we're going to have our report backs in about 30 to 45 seconds. It's just a little taste. Be sure to pick someone who can report back. Okay, we're all going to come back together. And I'm going to pick our largest group first to tell us about what they talked about. And Joanna is going to do it. So tell us about why you chose transformation to change the world.
Like,
One sec. Go try again. Yep.
okay. Like literal, like transformation and change are synonyms. They mean the same thing. So to change the world, we're going to need like transformation. But also, like we talked a little bit about like, or I was talking about like not being afraid to try new things, like being brave and like going forward, and like not being afraid to be, not letting fear hold you back in old paradigms and like, and then I don't know, we're just saying what we talked about. And then we talked, I talked about Pandora's box and hope being in it, which you told me, and talked a little bit about like how transformation can be potentially like dangerous or scary, because like what we're used to, like could it go a bad direction, and like you know, the world changes to be something like really bad, like dictatorship, or are there other possibilities that would be good?
Perfect. Yeah, so transformation on its own isn't necessarily always a good thing. Okay. We got Bill will be.
Generosity was the value that we were talking about, and I think overall what we saw was that generosity led towards all the other values. Equity, kindness, compassion, thinking well of others, letting go, were all facilitated by having a sense of generosity.
Thank you so much. Who is the representative speaker? Yes, I forgot already. Sorry, Debbie.
So our conversation about interdependence argued that much of our media and conversation is about dividing us. Which group do you belong to? Are you male? Are you female? Are you Jew? Are you Arab? Are you Republican? Are you Democrat? Are you black? Are you white? Are you brown? And that interdependent recognizes that we are all part of the whole. We are all together. Are we the same? No. We don't have the same experiences. We don't have the same needs. But we are interdependent of each other. And the reason we chose this as our value is that if we fuel our thoughts of interdependence with love, if we refuse to hate the half of the political spectrum that disagrees with us, if we continue to try to approach that with love, with love all throughout our disagreements, rather than allowing ourselves to be divided, that the rest will follow. That recognizing that we are all part of the whole together, bound together by love, will transform the world.
Amen. We have pluralism. Ruth is representing. Pluralism is in the house.
Singularism right now, but I just thought it should be represented.
right
So
into
I
that
had to do a
microphone.
quick Google search on the importance of pluralism. So, and very much what Debbie said is the interdependence is very much linked to pluralism, because pluralism assumes that diversity is beneficial to society and that autonomy should be enjoyed by disparate functional or cultural groups. And this works on a worldwide spectrum, such as if there are global treaties being made, and it gives everybody a chance to come to the table, hopefully in a respectful way. And within our own, well, that was world, but within our own UUFF, it's so important to have pluralism also.
Yeah. And we all come from many traditions, many backgrounds, many lineages, heritages, and the world is more beautiful when you have pluralism. It's harder, but we have to remember that we're all interconnected. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. Who is the representative in justice? Okay. Go ahead, Lori. Got some sun in
Good
my
morning,
eyes.
everyone. First off, justice is in the eye of the beholder, but justice is also supposed to be blind. When you go to any courthouse, which I've been to many of them as a law enforcement officer, that statue is blindfolded. But in today's society, it really depends on who is sitting on that bench, who's going to define what justice is in their own eyes. Justice should be, well, is interactive with equity. It is interactive with independence over there. It should be interactive within many of the values that you hold dear here. Right now, it's not. If we could find a common route to justice, perhaps we can see better improvements within the world.
Thank you so much, Lori. Okay, and last but not least, we have equity, and they're all ready with their representative.
So, Bill, you stole our line. We felt that equity was the connecting tissue of all that we need to do. Again, if we start with equality, then to some degree generosity is not as needed as much. Again, the ability as an individual to grow and become the best person they can be, they need to start from a good place. And unfortunately, I think we all recognize that the inequalities that we're seeing more and more each day is not allowing us as a whole to reach our potential.
Thank you so much. You all did a beautiful, beautiful job. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, I'm not going to bring the extra microphone with me because that would be bad. Okay. So we're moving on in our journey to love. And the question is love enough to move us? In our adoption of our values, we have done a really powerful thing. We've put love at the center of all of them. I see love anchoring our values, giving them a stable foundation from which to grow, just like the transformation group said. Transformation can not move us towards generosity or justice, but grounded and fueled by love like our chalice lighting said, we can get there. We can get to a better world together. So take a look at this values image and just to yourself think about what does it look like? What shape do you see? To yourselves. I very clearly see a flower. And where love is, at the center of the flower, is the pistil of the flower. Now, I'm also a doula, so I see reproductive organs everywhere I look. And what does the pistil do? The pistil holds all of the reproductive power of the flower. It is the place from which everything grows. Our younger members this image may look familiar from school. It does. Through fertilization, the plant is able to grow and reproduce, just like our values. Love is the mechanism through which we can grow and spread our values to the world. We must care for our values in order for them to grow and thrive. Like any plant, our values must be fertilized through action. They must be watered with joy and the struggle of being in community, and most importantly, exposed to the sun. Most plants thrive in the light. Just like careful gardeners, we should be bringing our values out into the world where others can see their beauty, smell their perfume, and be inspired to plant gardens alongside us. I do want to tell you all a secret, however. I almost left Unitarian Universalism. I was not convinced that love was enough to move a people. It certainly didn't feel like enough for me. And like a good New Jersey girl, I knew that the best place to deal with any existential crisis was a diner. So I invited my then minister to join me for a cup of coffee. And we sat in a booth in a New Jersey diner, and the waitress brought us over coffee that had been sitting on the burner just a bit too long. She poured us our cups of mud, and I was pouring half and half, wondering when it would get brown. And I looked at my minister and said, "Is love really enough to move you? Because I'm not convinced." I wish I could tell you she had some words to fill my cup and make me believe, but she didn't. I didn't leave, however. I didn't leave because I was in sacred covenant with the Unitarian Universalists who I had been laboring with for years. Together, we worked to reinstate mental health services in a local jail. We sang songs outside of detention centers so those detained could hear beauty. We protested. We set up an access fund so that women could access reproductive health care. We didn't know when we set this up that we would be helping to move women to different states in the aftermath of George Tiller's death. We did all of this in love. It wasn't until I was writing the words for the chalice lighting for this very service that I understood the power of love. And David will attest, I changed the words, which is why there was a little mix-up. Think about justice fueled by love versus equity fueled by fear. Transformation fueled by love versus interdependence fueled by jealousy. Generosity fueled by love, versus pluralism, fueled by ego. It is very clear that we have done a powerful thing. Can't you just feel that fire in your belly? I do. When we sing about a fire of commitment, this is what we mean. The fire of commitment to act through love that sustains us. We're now moving on to our living tradition portion of our journey. And the folks who work with me in the RE program know I love talking about how our faith is a living tradition. It makes it very different from other faith traditions. How we transitioned from principles to values is as important as the fact that we put love at the center. We are a living tradition. Not only can we change, we must change. Our faith believes that revelation is not sealed, which puts us in some interesting company theologically. And while most UUs are not waiting for the small or booming voice of the Lord, what we are called to do is listen to voices from the margins and to transform. Our transformation from principles to values is part of that call, from folks who have asked us to create a bolder faith, a more active faith, and a more accessible faith. Many of you may have a card in your wallet that looks like this. How many people have this card? Okay. So one of my friends, she always tells the story, she was on about a third date with her now husband and said, "So tell me about Unitarian Universalism." She was raised Episcopalian, so she didn't have any context. He said nothing, reaches into his wallet, pulls it out, opens up his wallet, takes out the card, and hands it to her, and says, "Read this." Siblings, we no longer need a pamphlet to explain our faith. It's all there for us, accessible. We've moved on now to the final part of our journey together, which is revelation. This transformation only works if you believe it, if you live it, if we treat it like the revelation that it is. Siblings, will you heed the call? Will you ask the hard questions if maybe you're not feeling that fire of commitment right now? Will you sit with your minister in a diner and say, "Hey, I just don't get this"? Will you keep working even if you're not sure? A song lyric we sing that always catches in my throat is that ours is no caravan of despair. The only way we make that be true is if we transform the journey and the vehicle. We must change. We are called. As we sang this morning, a bright new day is dawning when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fueling the vision divine. Will we answer the call of love? Will our hands join together as our hearts beat as one? Will you be emboldened by our faith? My wish for you, for us, for the world, is that the answer is yes. Shante, amen. May it be so. This is the portion where we have some time to chat with each other, I think. And so I want to know, are you moved to do anything differently?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it was just inspiring, everything that I heard, and our spokesperson mentioning love so much. And it just inspires me for my journey with the RE this fall, and that it's the right thing to do. And I'm looking forward to it. That's all.
Thank you. Yes, join us in RE. We have these conversations all the time.
In our discussion of generosity, it came up that as much as people, organizations need checks, clean out your closets, that it's much more meaningful to them and to yourself if you personalize it, think deeply about it, and if you're giving something away, find someone who needs it so it's not going to end up on a trash pile. And by doing that, you do so much for yourself, your brain and all your neurotransmitters and everything else. So I'll leave it at that.
Actually, being in work together also is so powerful. One more, because we have a blessing in our closing. We have another blessing today.
Yes, and we can bring this down to the microcosm of our own families. So my mother is going to be moving in with my husband and myself. She has some mild to moderate dementia, so we've created some space for her. So there's an interdependence even within our own families, and once it's from our families, that our foundation, that we can also bring these ideas out to the world.
Thank you. Go ahead, go ahead. Yes.
So I'm going to do a shameless plug and say, to sort of follow on what was said before, that to me, how I came to UU was through a reaction to the 2016 election. And I had never before been involved in politics, or I'd always volunteered through my churches and things like that to help people. But I just want to point out that, like never before in our life, being politically active is critical to saving the values that I think UU represents.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we are all going to participate in a blessing together for the RE year. And I'm going to invite any volunteers, lay leaders in our program, teacher, nursery, anything of that. Joanna, would you go get Miss Nancy? To stand, and also all of our students to stand up. Our 2 brave students who are here today. Oh, 3 brave students who are here today. Raise your hands or stand up. Yeah, and we'll just wait a moment for Miss Nancy to come in from our nursery. Do, 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 do. Yes, thank you, Clay. We're going to do a blessing, Miss Nancy. We want you included. Okay. So just go ahead and stand up. Thank you for joining us. All right. We come together as a living tradition.
We come together from different places, our paths diverse, yet we share this journey. We
come together knowing that here we are both welcome as we are and challenged to grow. So parents, there's just a few. I'll sing it with you. I'm a parent too. We trust this community to help us teach and love our children. Children and youth, I'll be one of you today too. I am happy to be a part of this fellowship and part of a world where there is so much to discover and do. Lay leaders, I am joyful to have the opportunity to work, play, and learn with the youngest people in our community. Your questions invite my wonder. Your trust encourages my hope. Everybody else.
We all rejoice in the children and youth with us. We welcome you into our fellowship and want you beside us in the long, loving work of creating goodness in the world. Let us as a community bless the work of this religious education program. Let us hold sacred the care and nourishment, both spiritual and physical, of the young souls in our midst.
May it be so.
All right. Thank you, Mandolin. Can we say
Thank
thank you to
you.
Mandolin? All right. Good reminders. A couple more reminders. If you are interested in being part of a small group here in our fellowship, we're starting new things. We call them chalice groups. If you're interested in becoming part of a chalice group, you can sign up right over here on this little sign-up board. Also, Sunday nights, we've begun a religious recovery group. And so if you would like to come and talk about some things that have happened in your past, in your religious journey, and want to share that with others and maybe share some experience and some strength, we would love to have you come join us Sunday nights at 6 o'clock. Today at 2 o'clock, there's an end-of-life meeting. Gloria, are you here? I don't see Gloria. But they're meeting right here at 2 o'clock. If you're interested in discussing things dealing with end of life, there's always a lively discussion and a good group. You would think that would be a glum, hard topic, but actually it's quite fun and joyful. So we invite you to come today at 2 o'clock if you're interested in joining in that discussion. All right, we are going to now invite you to share. We're going to ask you to stand if you are able. I'm going to ask our accompanist to begin playing right now. And I want us to take just a moment to reflect on what was shared this morning. Let's have a moment of quiet contemplation as our musician plays. We invite you to go quietly to the back and place your gift in the offering plate, which is located near the rear exit. If you've enjoyed today's service and want to see this fellowship grow and continue to be a positive light in our community, I encourage you to give generously to support us. Perhaps this morning you have a private joy or concern on your heart. If so, we invite you to silently come forward and place a pebble in the bowl of water as a token of what you're holding in your heart. If you have a concern and need to speak with someone, a member of our pastoral care team will be seated in the circle of chairs right up here on my left. You're invited to come and speak with them or to me during this time. So while the music is playing, we invite you to give. We invite you to come and share. We invite you to come and share what's on your heart. The rest of us will remain in a quiet and meditative spirit while this happens. We will close our service momentarily. All right, we do have one joy we want to share, or rather, a concern, that we want to share this morning.
Hello, everybody. I'm Paula Barnes. You know I'm a crier. Right after the fabulous picnic last Sunday, and it was the most beautiful experience out here in the grass, and the weather was perfect, fellowship was perfect. And I got in my car, and I got a call from my brother and his wife. My sister-in-law, Tanya Oldfield, had passed away. And it was unexpected. And an unexpected death is so different than an expected death. But I'm old school. I've been here 30 years. So I wanted to tell you in person. He didn't want to have a memorial. He didn't want to have something here that I immediately thought of. But I said, Jamie, friends and family just needs to come together, and it will be better for all of us. He had a beautiful celebration of life in his backyard yesterday in the garden that she and he loved so much, and they loved being out there so much. He'd make peanut butter sandwiches for the raccoons every evening, and they'd hang them out on the fence, and they'd joyfully watch the raccoons eat. But we had an abundance of food there that I certainly wasn't expecting, but I should have known. But that's why there were so many cookies over there this morning. So they were in honor of Tanya Oldfield, my shining. You know, I found a little sign while I was gathering things to take, and I found a little framed print that said "Walking on Sunshine," and that was Tanya Oldfield.
Yeah, let's just take a moment just to hold that in our heart. All right, this morning we're going to close by singing a closing song together, Go in Peace. I'm asking you to, if you're comfortable, then reach out, grab somebody's hand, and let's sing together, Go in Peace. Go in peace,
go in love, hold me in your heart. Look for ways to share a smile, it's not too late to start. Share the love, share the hope, tell someone you care. Someday soon we'll meet again, know that I'll be there.
Have a great day. Thank you for coming.